afternoon. I would like to welcome everybody to the council meeting on February 13th. At this time, I will be calling the meeting to order at 1 p.m. And before I read on to the land acknowledgement, I'd like to introduce our new CAO, Alan Hewitt, and our new treasurer, Jordan Webb. And of course, everybody knows our clerk, Melanie Hudson. Moving forward, as we respect land acknowledgement, as we respectfully acknowledge that the township of Asphodel-Norwood is located on the Treaty 20 Mississauga territory and in the traditional of the Mississauga and Chippewa nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nations, which include Curve Lake, Hiawatha, Altarville, Scugog Island, Rama, Beausoleil, and Georgina Islands First Nations. The township of Asphodel-Norwood respectfully acknowledges that the Williams Treaty First Nations are the stewards and caretakers of these lands and waters in perpetuity, and that they will continue to maintain these responsibilities to ensure the health and integrity for generations to come. I will now invite everybody to take 30 seconds to pause for a moment of silent reflection and to prepare for the council meeting ahead as a gesture of respect and contemplation. I will now ask members of council to declare any pecuniary interest and or at stake at the time of the matter arises. Okay, seeing no hands, we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. Councillor Walsh?
As amended.
As amended. Councillor Ward, second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Sorry, do you want it noted why we're amending?
Because delegation is not.
Yeah, so it's being amended because the delegation that had planned to come isn't quite ready and they've asked to come to the
Next meeting. Yeah. All in favor of that? That motion's carried. Approval of the minutes of January 23rd, public meeting on the 23rd, special council meeting on the 30th. I'm looking for a motion to adopt the council minutes of January 23rd for both the regular and public meetings, as well as the special meeting minutes of January 30th, as presented or amended.
I can make that motion as presented.
Deputy Mayor Byrd. Councillor Ward. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion's carried. On to the consent agenda. Pardon me? Oh, sorry. Business.
One's passed there.
It's already passed. Does council have any business arising from the minutes? I thought I asked that. No? Okay. Consent agenda. Councillor Ward, you're moving?
Yes.
And it was one pulled.
C1.
C1 for discussion, seconded, and that's 1 through 7, and staff report R1. Moved by Councillor Ward. Second by Councillor Hodge-Greaves, and
With C4, just
C4,
clarification. Please.
yes. Councillor Ward.
Thank you, through there. I would just like to say I really enjoyed reading the 2023 board year-end report. Thank you for including it. And I just wanted to see from the mayor and the deputy mayor, because you guys sit at that level, if there was anything in the year that you wanted to perhaps comment on. I know I kind of maybe caught you off guard with that, sorry, but As I said, I thought this was a really good report to come to the lower tiers. And, you know, you two sit at that level and I
Yeah.
thought maybe there's something that you felt was important to pass along.
Well, I know one thing for sure that will be coming forward within the next couple of months is on the waste itself. Just a heads up, the county's looking at doing it. I do know that there is some municipalities that have problems with it. Reasons being, people on islands are included, but they would be paying, but they don't get the services. And there's people on private roads that wouldn't get the services also. So different townships have that problem. We as a township don't seem to have that problem right now.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, other than, I do find the county council in the last year has been working well. A lot of, half are new
Yeah.
from before. There were 8 returning, and I think we've come together pretty well. We're all busy on our committees. I don't think I really have anything to add, but if I think of anything, I'll let you know. Kind of caught off guard on that one, but I'll let you know.
She does keep us well informed if something is coming up, Bonnie does. So
Yeah, no, that's nice to know.
that's
And
good.
she's so big. I don't know how she does it. She is
No,
at every event. She's all across the province. She's extremely busy, chairs of different committees. Eastern Ontario Warden Caucus Vice Chair. I think she's chair of a housing committee. Yeah, she's extremely busy. And both her and Sherry, the deputy warden, they're both very busy, and yeah, they keep us well informed. So thanks for asking.
No, thank you for that.
C4.
I just wanted to. It's talking about the MTO is going to be looking at Highway 7 between County Road, Highway 28 and Norwood. And just if it's unlike, it's the study is happening. Right?
Study is
So
happening.
it's going to be several years until they actually are closing the roads, unless they have to close them a little bit to start. Is that correct?
That's
And
correct.
we won't, and are they, it doesn't say that they will give us notice of that. This is the notice that it would happen? Is that, we don't know. My only concern is if we ever get notice of it, can we just tell the township that that is happening? That's my only comment. So if we get further information about details, it would be good if we could pass that on, because most of our residents travel on that road.
Highway 7.
That's my only comment.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Any further? Yes,
I can just add to that through you, Mayor. I actually had asked Peter that question, Councilor Hodgkins, and his response back was, he anticipated timeline for just doing the study would be within the next 2 to 5 years, so it's not gonna happen immediately.
in this council term, most likely.
That's fine. As a resident near the section, they've repaved 3 times in 3 summers.
Yes.
I'm okay with taking a break and repaving the road again. So I'm okay with that, yeah.
Fair enough.
Thanks.
Hopefully they've got it right now.
It's still a little bit wobbly, but let it go, yeah. Thank you.
Any further comments? All in favor? That's carried. Delegations, we have no delegations. We had one, but he's moved to February 27th. We'll move on to staff reports. Seamus McDougall, manager of the community center and parks and facilities.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. So this presentation or report is on the fitness center fees and bylaws. So we're gonna pass 2 cards around. So the first one that's Camden was the original card, just so you can see it. At the end of May, we switched to Can-Tech, so you can kind of see more heavier duty, and then we'll explain what we're proposing. So what this staff report's recommending is the Council of Township of Asphodel-Norwood accepts this report regarding updates to the fitness center fees and charges. And further, that the Council of Asphodel-Norwood authorizes staff to present draft bylaw 2024-10 during the bylaw portion of the meeting for council's consideration. So background, staff believe in the 10 months the fitness center has operated, things have went very well. There's been a good demand. At the end of 2023, in my staff report, 588 total people had signed up. I believe so far in 2024, we've already had 80 brand new people sign up. So things are going well, studio's going well. What we're proposing is we keep membership prices the same for all of 2024. Reason being, that operate or gives us a 12-month period just to make sure and have a better idea our membership's gonna increase. Are they gonna decrease? Are they gonna stay the same before we ever discuss options of raising the prices? So the number one thing staff would like to improve is to implement a cash deposit for fitness center membership cards. Reason we would like to implement this new fee is to hopefully streamline the card process. Currently what happens is, after a membership's expired, we email them, to let them know that your membership's expired. Please let us know if you will be renewing, or please let us know if you don't plan on renewing. If you don't plan on renewing, if you can return your card. That process not went very well. A lot of no replies. Staff have even went a step further and sent emails to expired memberships saying, you have until this date. Please, if you return your card, if you don't return your card by this date, you'll be charged a $20 replacement card fee because your card's technically deemed lost. The staff received some complaints, some pushback about that, even though when they signed the registration form, it clearly stated that in it. So what we're proposing, like a lot of people haven't even acknowledged or don't even reply. It'd be one thing if you reply and say, hey, you know what, I'm away for a bit, I plan on renewing, you know what, I don't plan on renewing, I plan on returning my card. Obviously, for some people, maybe they don't come in this part of town. It could be out of their way, but what we're proposing, so currently, if a fitness center member loses or misplaced their card, it states in the current fees and charges that they have to pay a $20 replacement card. Currently, there's no initial cost when you sign up, and there's only a cost if you misplace or lose it. So in this table, as of February 8th, when this report was written, there's currently 158 expired or invalid cards. That doesn't mean all those people won't be renewing. That just means their memberships have expired. Cards from our supplier cost us $11.30, so that's $1,785.40 outstanding. Current active memberships, we have 321. So that's $3,627.30 in active memberships. So there's a time when those active ones, they're gonna switch to invalid or expired. So what we're proposing is any member who signs up puts down a $20 cash deposit for their card. And then table 2 would show you how much those cards will be valued. So just to clarify that 95.80 seems to be a bigger number, but that's not all gonna be there at once. So person A signs up December 31st, 2024. We don't see their $20 deposit till then. By the time people that have expired and return their cards would be receiving their money back. So there's 3 main reasons why staff are proposing a $20. Number one is 20 is an even number, so it's easier for the customer, easier for our staff. Someone's not coming in with 100, now all of a sudden you have to find another float to be able to reimburse them. There's less math, it's easier. Number 2, $20 is currently the same price as a replacement card. So this scenario right now, person A loses their card yesterday, they have to come in and pay $20. If we switch this to $50, that person's gonna go, well, I could have literally came 2 days later and paid 15, saying you charged me 20. Currently, right now, too, if you have to buy a replacement card, you pay $20, you don't get anything back. Number 3, $20 also allows this to hopefully stay for years. So not every couple months, I'm coming back to a council meeting saying, you know what, can we amend it? Now it's gotta go 25, now it's gotta go 30. So that's why those 3 reasons for 20. Now I'll explain how this process would work. So new member comes up to pay for the fitness center membership. They pay for the current card. They'd also pay a $20 cash deposit. The reason it's 20 in cash is that's easier than debit. So if person A signs up, puts down a $20 debit February 13th, they come March 13th to renew. It's in different batches, so it's going to be way more confusing. So that's why it's cash. So member comes in, presents ID, so we know it's the person who it is. They provide $20 cash deposit. They initial, our staff initials that they've got it. We now have since bought a second safe that goes in the manager's office that all staff will have access to. We have another safe in staff office that just the manager and lead hand have access to. So they sign, we sign on a sheet, you put it in the safe. When the time comes, it could be a month, it could be a year, it could be 2 years. When that person chooses that they're not gonna renew, and they come back and return their card, we'd ask for ID again, they'd sign, they'd get their $20 deposit back. So the township is not taking any money, providing staff return their cards. If a person does not return their card, that's where staff would be keeping their $20 deposit fee. So that helps pay for the cards, as well as when we initially bought first cards, we bought about 400 of them. Once we switch the other cards, those 400 are gone. So this will also help for, maybe it's a min fee, maybe it's to protect yourself that 4 years from now, when these cards are now $14.40, you still kind of help out a bit. So if a fitness center member does not return the card, keep their deposit. If a member loses their card or replaces it, they would then pay another $20 fee, get a new card. Their membership expires, they return their card, they get the $20 back.
Right.
So financial implications, this is minimal, if any changes to the current operations. Conclusion, due to the important role that the fitness center plays in Asphodel-Norwood and adjacent townships, township staff are recommending that council proceeds with this fitness center fees and bylaws effective February 15th. The reason we picked that is that it would allow us, we'd have to make a change to our registration fee. So any new person, if this passes, signs up as of February 15th, it will clearly state that. What we'll also be looking to do too is any current member, when it's time for them to return, they would then have to pay the $20. So all cards would be covered. And then again, people take care of their cards, they return them, they easily get their $20 cash deposit back.
That's it, Seamus?
Yes.
Thank you very much for that report. Council, we have a recommended motion that the council of the township of Asphodel-Norwood accepts this report regarding the fitness center fees and charges update for information. And further, that the council of the township of Asphodel-Norwood authorizes staff to present a draft bylaw 2024-10 during the bylaw portion of the meeting for council's consideration. Moved by Councillor Ward with a comment. Second by Councillor Hodge-Greaves. Go ahead.
Thank you through you, Mayor. Thank you, very detailed report as always. I love your reports. I just had one question. So if, how long after a membership lapses? So say somebody, their membership is lapsed and say they wait for 7 or 8 months and then they come in and want their deposit back. Are you gonna have a deadline from the time that that membership lapses to the time that, you're not going to give anything back for that card?
Thank you. So three, good question, Councillor Ward. So that could be an option. I know in the past, we've had some people that, one member just actually renewed yesterday. She went overseas to do a semester. So the one thing, we could discuss the time, but it's tough because what happens if someone, obviously, kind of case by case, if someone goes MIA or maybe they're in a hospital or they can't respond, and all of a sudden, 10 months. So we could look at doing that. Obviously, right now what we do is, so every morning when staff come in, we check whose cards just expired at night and email them right away. So if that was the one thing that you would like for staff to do, we could implement, if you haven't returned your card by X amount of months, therefore you've lost your deposit.
I have a follow-up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, because what if somebody said 2 years later and you don't have a policy in place and, all of a sudden they're bringing their card in? You're tracking all that stuff all the time. It seems redundant. Like, I think, in my opinion, like, you have to be reasonable if someone's in the hospital or overseas or whatever. But I still think when you have a membership of that sort, you kind of need to be able to track it in a good time to come back. But that's my only comment. You guys do what you want with that.
On
That's
that
my
too,
comment.
so since
Yeah.
we're now getting a deposit,
Yeah,
if they don't ever return it, like they've already paid for their card, right? Versus previously, the concern has been that person goes MIA or doesn't reply for 8 months.
Yeah.
Like there's some people that potentially, you got a month in March 20th when we opened last year, by April 20th, you could still have your card. So this way we'll still send them their friendly reminder, your card's expired, but now the onus is technically on them. Because if we have their deposit, so really that just helps pay for the card.
Right.
Like, we're not gonna go buy other stuff through it, but it stays in that safe, so technically we're not out any money, and if they do come in 10 months, maybe they find their card because they thought they lost it, and they would just get their deposit back.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor, did you have a question?
No, I was just
Okay,
seconding the
Deputy
motion.
Member?
Thank you through you, Mayor. There is an ATM here, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'm just thinking of the whole cash thing. A lot of people don't carry cash, but if they're able to get that here, hand you the cash, that's good. That was my question. Thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Just further to your comment there about the ATM machine, do we own that?
So that's one thing, thank you through you, Mayor. So I'm looking at the updating to find out that
Okay,
if we don't, we restock it. We're supposed to get a portion of every percentage, but that's one thing I'm gonna look at it, because when I first started, they'd send me monthly transactions of this month you had this many, and they haven't done it in a while. So finding out that maybe there's another supplier that would give us a better percentage. Maybe there's an option that if we looked at buying it outright, you're getting more of a service charge.
Yeah.
But that is something that's on our list to look into.
okay. Yes,
And actually, through you, Mayor, just a follow-up question, is it busy?
Yes. Good question, Mr. Counselor Walsa. Yeah, a couple weeks ago, before we had 3 tournaments in a row, it was about 1,800 restocked in it, and then when we just got the second requisition check, there was only a few hundred left. So tournaments, yes, fair weekend, it's huge. This past year, fair weekend, it was unfortunately not working. So that's another thing that sometimes, maybe if we look at our contract, or support's not always great,
mhm,
right? You could be days before they reply to you, or days before they actually, because if they get here, sometimes it's been as easy as they explain it once over the phone, second time it happened, we were able to do it. But yes, like your bigger events, if there are, like, again, fair, obviously fair only does cash only.
Jamboree.
And for some people know that this, you pay a way less of a service charge than one on the fairgrounds. But it's another thing that's nice, that say if our, whatever reason, the debit machine goes down, because technology doesn't always work, some people can still technically go get cash and either purchase
Yes.
something here or purchase something else in the community.
And just if I can, to build on that, Mayor, I believe the Legion, you couldn't speak, the Legion do own their own, I believe.
mhm.
So that would be a place
Yeah.
at least you get some information as to kind of how their arrangement works. To get another place.
Because it is, it's something like, if we're doing all the work and we're not really
You're
benefiting.
not benefiting.
Okay, thank you.
So we do have a motion on the floor. Everybody in favor of that motion? That motion's carried. Thank you, Seamus. Moving along to R3, our CAO, new Chief Administrative Officer, please proceed, Adam.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So what we have here is just the updated management action list. So the majority of this stuff happened before I got here last week, which an excellent job was done by all. So this is on our agenda for our management team meeting tomorrow, so there'll be an update that will be coming out of that one. And this is something that will come to council on a regular basis, just so everybody knows what the status of the different items are. So it's more just this is the first one, I think, for this year, but you'll see it on a very regular basis.
Okay. We have a recommended motion. The council, the township of Asphodel-Norwood accepts this report for revisions suggested by staff and members of council. Moved by Councillor Walsh, second by Deputy Mayor Burt. Any further comments? All in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you, Alan. Correspondence for action. C8. Do you want to go through these all separately?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry.
No
Yes,
problem.
Mayor.
No, that's no problem at all. Starting with C8. Prince Edward County, what is council's wishes with respect to C8? County of Prince Edward, expand the lifespan of fire apparatuses. Go ahead and speak, Deputy Mayor.
Support with comment.
Yes. Moved by Councillor Burt, second by Deputy Mayor Burt and Councillor Warren. And your comment?
Yeah, this came to county council as well. There was a little bit of discussion, but I think the important piece in it was to open discussions about this. It's not to change it, because there's certainly pros and cons to, you know, looking at this, expanding the life of things. There's reasons why it has a lifespan. So yes, just to support, to start that conversation.
Okay. Any further comments? All in favor? Motion is carried. C9, Town of Orangeville, Social and Economic Prosperity Review. Deputy Mayor Burt? Support. Okay. Councillor Ward? Any comments? All in favor? Motion's carried. C10, Enbridge Gas, securing the future for natural gas in Ontario. And we have a mover to receive, Councillor Ward, second by Councillor Walsh. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Motion's carried. Municipality of Gavin, provincial and national firefighting strategies. Deputy Mayor Burt, motion to receive.
Actually, I would say support. on that.
Support.
Yes.
Okay, seconder. Councillor Hodge Greaves. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion's carried. City of Brantford, reliable and accessible public rail transit, CN Rail. Councillor
I think-
Hodge Greaves,
With support.
with support. Seconder, Councillor Ward, discussion. All in favor? Motion's carried. Council liaison reports. Does anybody have anything else they would like to bring forward? Councillor Walsh.
Yeah, just actually to all of council, just a reminder that next Monday is Family Day. It is our Frostable event here in town. There is events happening from 12 till 5 p.m. Change this year over last year is, besides activity happening here at the community center, we've also have activity happening over at the Norwood Town Hall. So just 2 locations for people to come to this year. We have horse and wagon rides that'll be able to move people back and forth between both locations. And lastly, just a thank you to all of council. I know I reached out to you. We are going to have a township table at both locations, and thank you very much for volunteering a couple hours to man that table for us and be able to talk to residents.
All right. Deputy Mayor Burt.
Thank you through you, Mayor. Just a couple things. As a county, we're working on the county budget, and we had I guess second or third meeting last week, public meeting in the evening last week, and the next meeting, hopefully it will pass. Looking like the tax rate will be just under 6%. Haven't got it hammered down yet. You might, you're on the finance committee, but
Not yet.
we're getting
It's
closer.
still at 6.29.
6.29 for the levy,
For
which
the
is a little
levy.
bit under 6 for the rate.
Yeah.
Looking about, for an average market assessment, not MPAC assessment of 620,000, be around $58 increase approximately. We'll have more details, but that's what we're looking at. It was a tough budget. Real tough budget year. So anyway, do you have anything to add to that?
All you can say is, yes, reserves are there to be used. But when you're
We're
going from,
using some.
when you're going from 34 million down to 30 million in reserves, that's 4 million. You can't keep doing that every year. It's just, no way.
So, yeah, so I just wanted to update on that. And then just we had a library meeting last night, and just to acknowledge that we had the confirmation of the treasurer, and our treasurer was there at the meeting last night, so thank you very much for coming.
Good.
And then just a couple of committees I'm on at the county. We had the Peterborough County Celebration of Agriculture Saturday night at the Durham Arena, and I was honored to give the Payne family their Farm Family of the Year award in front of the ag community, so that was nice. And also, last week I had a meeting at Trent for the economic impact study for Kawartha Lakes and Peterborough County. So the draft is done. Once that gets hammered out, I'll make sure that I include all of that in an agenda package for information. So that should be coming back within a month or so to have all those numbers. So anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Wolf?
Thank you through you, Mayor. Just a couple things to report from the Cultural and Heritage. The Heritage Center in Westwood will be open this Saturday from 10 to 1. We thought it was appropriate with Family Day that maybe if anyone wants to do family research, that the Heritage Center is open as well. So we're going to be open 10 to 1 in Westwood. And just to mark on everyone's calendar that Donald Stewart is coming as our guest speaker at the Town Hall on March 9th. And it's going to be incredible. I know some of the pieces that he's created, he's a gold and silversmith, are over $10,000 to $14,000 each piece. He has commemorated neck pieces from everyone from Laura Secord to Haley Wickenheiser. And so each one is a unique piece of jewelry that really reflects that career and that whatever that woman has done. So it's called Homage, and I hope everyone can join us for that. And the VAC, we do not have a meeting scheduled. I hope to maybe talk to staff and our CAO about that later, and I'll confirm when the next VAC meeting is, but that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Hodge-Greaves?
As, excuse me, in my other life, I'm also the president of skating club. And I wanted to thank Seamus and his team for a huge amount of support and help for the ice show that the skating club put on yesterday. It's quite a well-attended event for the community. There was over 230 adults, and with kids, it was probably over 300, 350. And Seamus was amazing. He got the music room working, and really appreciated his support. Another thing, while I was there, I also noticed that Seamus regularly manages a large number of teenagers in the community center in the after-school hours. And I feel that council should be aware of what an exceptional and challenging job he has taken on being a parent to the community. And I think it's just, we need to be aware of it in case he ever needs assistance or guidance, that we're not surprised. And I also understand from Trish, she also hosts lots of teenagers. And I noticed that she has a new teen committee. And I think it's great that the young people are happy and they have facilities to use. It's just maintaining it a safe environment for everyone. And staff time. Seamus does a great job with his team, but we just need to be aware that that is happening. But it's a very welcoming environment. That means. Thank you very much.
Yeah, very good. And and again, great job, Seamus. That's it for liaison reports. Moving ahead to the CAO for treasures list. Alan or Melanie, do you have anything for council? Or Jordan? Your feet are all just getting wet. I know you have very much.
I would agree with that statement. We do not have very much at this point in time, but I'm sure as we get further into things, we will have lots of good information to report back to you.
Thank you very much.
Just one item through you, Mayor. Just a reminder that the municipal office will be closed on Monday for Family Day, and recycling collection will not occur on Monday, but garbage collection will move forward. That will be communicated on socials and website and things, but just to put that out there as well.
Okay, does anybody have anything they would like to discuss under general business? Deputy Mayor Burke.
Just one thing through you, Mayor. Today is Canada's Agricultural Day, and I'm just going to read the quote from that organization. On this year's Canada's Agricultural Day today, we take pride in the sector that aids in sustaining our nation. It's a day dedicated to recognizing the hard work and dedication of those who contribute to producing the food, fuel, fiber, and flowers that nourishes Canadians and people around the world. So just want to get that out there.
Very good. Any other general business? I was talking with Pam this morning. She gave me some dates for out at the medical center. They still have some inspections, the HVAC inspection, electrical inspection, and plumbing inspection, and task engineers to be signed off. February 20th, the cleaners will be going in there and do a clean sweep of the place. All the equipment will start coming in on February 22nd and delivered. On the 26th of February, the King Street office will be closed and all staff will be out at the new medical center unpacking and getting stuff put away and in the spots they're supposed to be on, open, and, or where they're supposed to be. And March 4th, hopefully, will be the opening of the medical center for new doctors, staff. General business. We are now going to move into a closed session, and the time is 1:35 to discuss personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees with respect to the 2024 Peterborough County Community Recognition Awards in accordance with section 239-2, section B of the Municipal Act. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Walsh. Seconder. Deputy Mayor Burt. All in favor? Motion's carried. Okay. We are now back into the open session at 1:57. Notice of motions today. Do we have any? Seeing none. We'll move on to bylaws. Bylaw 2024, Melanie.
Now, the bylaw to establish fees and charges to be collected by the Corporation of the Township of Asphodel-Norwood be read a first, second, and third time in numbered bylaw 2024-10.
Moved by Councillor Walsh, second by Councillor Hodge-Greaves. Discussion, all in favor, motion's carried. Confirmed bylaw 2024-11.
Now, the bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the regular meeting of the Council of the Township of Asphodel-Norwood held this date, February 13, 2024, be read a first, second, and third time in number 2024-11.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Burt and second by Councillor Hodge-Greaves. Any discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Future meeting schedules. Has everybody had a look at that? I just have a couple comments, but I'll ask Councillor Walsh because I know that you do work away. March 12th is a Zoom meeting. I'd far sooner have in-house meeting if the rest of council would like that. And there's even one on April 9th too. I know that the Zoom meetings was.
I'm good with either.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
I'm good with those dates of being in person.
in person, okay. I was just thinking because you go to the town hall, I go to the town hall, just if we have any problems with that. So you're in person, Councillor Hodge-Greaves?
Yeah, in person's fine. I just
And
realized it's
you're
March
fine?
break, but
Barry? You're fine with that too?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, let's change those meetings to regular planning and then please. Need a motion.
So I'll make a motion that the scheduled meetings on March the 12th and April the 9th that are currently Zoom will be changed to in-person meetings.
Okay, seconder? Councillor Ward, all in favor? That motion's carried. Okay, that concludes, I think, our business for today. Motion for adjournment. Deputy Mayor Burt. Councillor Ward, they don't want to leave. All in favor? That motion's carried.